Hey everyone, as you may be aware, this week has been Mental Health Awareness Week, so I thought I would talk about mental health, but from my own personal perspective and being trans. Yeah. First off, I thought I'd share a few statistics. The first one being that from a survey conducted by the Metro in 2014, it found that 54% of trans people had sought medical help for anxiety or depression, and 72% of trans people had self-harmed now or in the past, and this compares to 42% and 52% for those for seeking help and self-harming for the rest of the LGBTQ plus community, and 29% and 35% respectively for cisgendered heterosexual people. Which is still very high for young people, which is why mental health is a very important thing and why the Mental Health Awareness Week is important, because the more people are aware of things, especially if they're not going through them themselves, the more they're able to try and understand from other people's perspective, and potentially offer help to those in need and try and help make people feel mentally healthier, if that's a phrase. Technically statistics like 1 in 4 people sought medical help for anxiety or depression in like minimum out of people, and then 1 in 3 minimum people, like as the minimum, had self-harmed, which is essentially what I'm trying to get at is that you or someone you know has been through that. And personally, I have self-harmed in the past and have sought medical help for anxiety and depression, and I'm on medication for depression, which I've had the dosage increased over time, but that has helped me feel a lot more content in who I am, in terms of like my brain has more serotonin and stuff in it, so yeah. But in terms of like my own personal experience from a trans perspective, the feeling that you're not accepted for who you are and like the constant questions of like, do I look the gender which you are enough, and frustration with waiting lists, because I'm not on the wait, I'm waiting to see a psychiatrist so I can be put on a waiting list, which for an initial appointment followed by a waiting list, and it's just a case of waiting, but I just gotta be patient at the end of the day, and I reckon before I know it, things will happen, and then they'll happen quite quickly, which will be good, but it's just a case of waiting and trying to hold on in the meantime. And it's important to try and build that support network and have people in your life who you can talk to when things get tough and you feel accepted and part of the community, kind of thing. Because lately I feel like more part of the community in certain things. For example, I've joined a trans and non-binary youth group recently, which is one of the best things I've done in a while. I've only been twice, but it's sort of a safe space where we do stuff, and yeah. And then also having accepting friends and being in a good relationship with someone has helped me a lot. And when people don't judge you for who you are, and it sort of puts your mind at ease a bit. There's still like times where people misgender you a lot, and it's just questioning like, will I ever look or be how I feel inside, and then feeling like gonna be judged by other people. For example, going into public bathrooms, which I struggle with quite a bit, and I need to pee a lot in public, so it's a bit frustrating from that respect. But the best thing you can do for someone, really, if they have mental health, which isn't the best, is to be patient with them and listen to them, and even if you don't necessarily understand what they're going through because you haven't gone through it, just being there for them when they need you to be is one of the greatest things you could ask for. And trying to find the good things in your life, and if you need to speak to a doctor or your GP or whoever or someone about your mental health, and perhaps invest. It shouldn't be cost money, if possible. And there are routes of like taking medication and then just getting counselling or therapy, and there's so many like different things on the internet you can find about like self-help, sort of looking after yourself, and which is how the internet can be good these days, in that there's so much out there for people to access to try and help with their mental health and things. I don't think there's as many resources trans related. However, I think there are some, and if I find any, I'll put the links in the description so you can access them if you're trans and interested in that. Yeah. And I think I don't want to end on a bad note, but as a sort of statistic I found as well, that was, I think, when was it, doesn't say, I think it was like either 2012 or 2015 or something. Oh, 2014, sorry. A survey found that 48% of trans people under the age of 26 had attempted suicide, and 30% of those had done so in 2014, I guess. And 59% of trans people had considered taking their own life, which is really scary, that people should think that their lives, or get to the point where they feel their lives are not worth living anymore, because I've been in a bad place in the past where things get dark and you feel like there's no way out, but eventually, in terms of transitioning and getting through waiting lists at least, things will get better. And when you find the right people, however long it takes, it can at least temporarily put your mind at ease, which has greatly helped me, I suppose. And there are people out there who care and want you to be happy, because everyone deserves to be happy at the end of the day, and hopefully in the future things will get better for everyone, and everyone will feel more mentally sound, I suppose. But everyone has like up and down days, and it's a case of trying to like accept the down days and enjoy the good days and make the most of what you got, I guess. And it is, sometimes situations are what they are, and worrying about them will just make you lead to more stress and anxiety and things. And sometimes it's a case of trying to accept thoughts, I suppose, but accepting that they're just thoughts and they may or may not be true. And because of that, you shouldn't try to believe negative thoughts. It honestly though, it is when you're in like a really, really dark place, it can be hard to get out of it. And just even like simple things like getting out of bed can be a struggle sometimes. You just don't have the energy to face the day, or fear like stepping outside because of how others will perceive you. Yeah, sorry this was a kind of depressing, dark video, but I hope it sort of gave a bit of insight into mental health from a more of a trans perspective, and sort of how you can try and help people if you know people who are dealing with mental health problems, because there isn't one cure fits all, but everyone takes their different amounts of time to sort of get better, but there are ways that everyone can get better and feel like their lives have hope and are worth living. Yeah, I think I'll leave that video there. Thank you for watching. I hope this was of some use, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.